You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been solid for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought Music up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, but by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years with testimonies from the victims. We interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back. Years. The industry treated warning.
Funny. Is this real life?
Yes, this is real life.
I feel crazy. The world is spinning around me.
Don't touch your stitches, Justin Bieber. Don't touch your stitches.
What's happening?
No. Bieber, stop.
You have 4 eyes. I have 2 fingers. I have 3 fingers. Is this gonna last forever?
Justin, stop it.
Ah!
Yeah, you pressing Bieber?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Like I'm calling you and answering.
Yeah, that was low.
That was weird,
That was crazy.
That was weird. They did not run through Bieber.
There was. Why you not answering your phone like yo?
What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we become friends in a strange way. You know,
like Robin Big.
Yeah. It's like exactly.
I'm begging you, Robin.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person. Besides his talent, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
Justin, you know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Signs like background noise. Awkward moments were laughed off. Uncomfortable footage became mean, and serious questions were quietly brushed aside. But now, with the 50 Cent documentary reopening the record, every detail is being examined and every forgotten whisper is coming back into the spotlight. Music at the center of it all are Diddy, a powerful figure who shaped careers, and Justin Bieber. Music, a young star pulled into that world before he was truly ready. This isn't about viral clips or online gossip. It's about influence, music, silence, and how the truth can stay buried for years when too many people choose not to see it. We hang out, and when we do singing, we can't really disclose. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream when he signed the Usher. Who signed Usher? I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did his first album. I don't really have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, I'm laughter. Yeah. And we going to go full buck, full crazy. Justin Bieber's rise was sold as a perfect modern fairy tale. But behind Spotlight was a far more troubling reality. A young talent navigating powerful adult systems with little real protection. Old footage and interviews now show how he was placed in environments where status, access, and influence mattered more than healthy boundaries. While these moments circulated publicly, music, and were dismissed as harmless, celebrity culture instead of being questioned as dangerous exposure. This isn't about one isolated incident. It's about normalization, an industry trained to look away and what happens when youth is traded for opportunity, leaving one unavoidable question. Who is really responsible for the price that gets paid? Look at Usher. What'd Usher say? I've seen some things I shouldn't have been seeing at that age. What does that tell you? Then he's seen some things. He was around some things when he was young that he shouldn't have been at a Diddy party. So that's going to show you that there's certain things that are happening is going on. That here is this kid was saying he shouldn't even seen it and been around it himself. So all the other celebrities who saw it and they stand quiet about it. Ain't that in our culture? No. And I have felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay. And I don't mean to mention other people platforms. Music, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? Music I know, and people know that was around that in that time music. That Puff and Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say music, a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, I know. For years, 50 Cent positioned himself as an outsider to Sean Diddy Combs' inner circle, aware of what was happening, but unwilling to be part of it, while his comments were dismissed as nothing more than personal rivalry. Music now, as legal pressure grows and public perception shifts, those same words are resurfacing with new weight and sharper meaning, forcing a serious reassessment of their intent and timing. This doesn't confirm every claim, but it reveals how warnings can exist long before evidence is officially acknowledged, exposing an uncomfortable truth. Criticism I ceases to ignore when it comes from an inconvenient voice. And the question still remains, how many early signals are brushed aside simply because the messenger makes people uneasy? He dropped the song. It went over our heads. Which video about this whole time? Which video? The song Lonely. Let me see. Everybody knows my past. I'm always glad. Music, maybe that's the price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. He even came out and said stuff about how when he was younger, he was being taken advantage of, which is true. The problem was being a victim of what happens because he has so much dirt on you. If you go out into the public, he may have videos. He may have embarrassing things. He might even have incriminating footage of you doing things that you were forced to under the influence to do. Yeah, Diddy's influence stretched far beyond music, shaping who gained access to the rooms where careers were boosted or quietly blocked. And Justin Bieber's closeness to that world reflected a deeper industry pattern, one where opportunity moved through powerful gatekeepers and private networks instead of transparent, accountable systems. Guys, the leaked video of Justin Bieber partying with P. Diddy has just emerged, and it looks horrifying. Bieber was not in his right state of mind. Here's the video. Oh, he's bad boy now. Look at that. Bad boy. Look at that alert. Does that look normal to you? Guys, what's going on here? He goes down on his knees, starts drinking. Dude, right there. Look at his eyes. The deeper concern goes beyond what may have happened behind closed doors and focuses on why. Accountability broke down in a system where success is tied to proximity to power. When progress depends on access, boundaries begin to fade. Caution is seen as weakness, and self-protection is treated as an obstacle rather than a safeguard. In that kind of environment, the real struggle is about control. Who is truly free to say no? And who ends up paying the price for having music the courage to do so? I'm tired of Usher. I wish somebody would come out and just sue him. Like we need Ushers. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him, because what I'm realizing is that he's going to fake the funk into the man. Music, he's just going to keep on sucking the devils. And I don't know, like with a baby. That pacifier, sometimes music, you got to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away, right? When the baby's used sucking on the pacifier, music that going to keep sucking on that until you do what? Till you take it out the mouth. Now it's gonna scream and holler but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object and that it's time to just, learn how to live without it. He's been sucking on Diddy's dick a long time. It's time for him to learn how to make this thing happen without music, the devil's dick, in his mouth or ass. You don't think if he's sued he'll just, a little Woody, the situation. And I don't recall. No, because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this underscore is. Because if he can be a president, then anybody can be a predator. Long before Justin Bieber became a global star, Usher spoke openly about entering Diddy's circle as a teenager and later acknowledged how that environment exposed him to adult pressures far too early, and that history matters because it reflects precedent, not speculation. When similar patterns appear across different generations, coincidence fades and a deeper structural issue comes into focus. Music, power, and trust pass forward without real reform. If discomfort was recognized once, the unanswered question still music remains. Why was the system left untouched when the next young talent walked the same path? Not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital, they're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart music when he took Justin Bieber there. No, let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. He had been trying to get to be for a minute and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management music and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the deadlier for 48 hours. Music, think about that. He had already been to the hospital, that situation that Gene was talking about, and you still took Bieber there, but you got custody of him first. That Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Diddy had already tried. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber, the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the deadlock. Music, does that sound like a good guy? It's horrible. It's horrible. Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, music, what kind of underscore do you got to be to take another boy? Music, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't got to be you. As scrutiny around Diddy grew, many former allies retreated into silence while 50 Cent spoke louder, exposing an unspoken industry code. Speaking music up threatens relationships. Staying quiet protects them. And over time, loyalty and self-preservation become almost impossible to separate. This isn't driven by fear as much as calculation. An environment where honesty competes with career survival. And when silence becomes the safest option, one difficult question remains. Can true accountability ever really exist? I should look like he fresh off goddamn plane. I should have fresh off the guard stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and I mean damn pores. But like just I mean back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older. His older brother, we used to fight laughter over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm laughter saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early in the world. Yo, what did Puff just say? Nobody's going to catch this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was stupid. Having a good time. Usher is a procurer. And if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off, is he a good guy? Music, especially considering what happened to him. Especially considering that he sent Music Stern, and Howard Stern said, "Would you send your kids to Puffy's flavor camp?" And his immediate response was, "Hell, screaming no." So, it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for you. Music, yours are just good enough to die in Lake Lanier, with no real investigation. Got it, like these aren't good people. Alright, he's not good. He's and the simple fact that Justin Bieber literally made a public statement and said, Usher asked me to do the Super Bowl with him and I turned it down. Music, run for this. Why would he turn it down? Music, who turns down the Super Bowl? Justin Bieber has never publicly accused Diddy of criminal wrongdoing. Yet his later openness about anxiety, instability, and emotional exhaustion adds important depth to a far more complex story. He has spoken about being pushed under intense pressure at a young age, surrounded by adults with competing interests, and trying to handle massive success without the guidance or tools needed to protect his well-being. That history doesn't offer easy answers, but it challenges simple explanations, music, and reveals the real cost of growing up too fast in an environment where protection was never clearly put first. Quick, yeah, snorts. She's crazy. She's a superstar, right? So you're there, and you see her, and you see the way she's reacting to you. And I wonder what was going through your mind, cause I've never had a chance to ask you that, cause I know what was going through her mind. Cause I've had a chance to ask her that, and it's pretty clear. In the video, what's going through her mind. You can't even what was going through your mind when you saw that kind of reaction. And then also now, in the knowledge that you were just coming out of that space yourself. Music, I wanted to protect the moment. You know, I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get. You know, we never know how many opportunities we're going to get with anybody. I mean, I'm tearing up thinking about it just with the Kobe situation. You know, just never know. And so I just wanted to be a good example. Did you feel protective of her? Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and just turn their back on you in a second. So music, yeah. It's hard because I want her to know that. You know, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I don't want to never going to force myself to be in relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So, I just kind of, music, you know, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted. I encounters, and I'm music size. Yeah, so, yeah, I just want to protect her. You know, Snorts, I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, Snorts, you know, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away. This isn't about delivering legal judgment. It's about recognizing human impact. Music harm doesn't always come with loud accusations or clear labels. Sometimes it appears years later as emotional weight, lost stability, or pain that was never given words. When pressure and exposure are built into a system, damage can happen without one dramatic moment quietly building over time. And that leads to an uncomfortable question. If the problem is structural rather than isolated, why do we demand a single accusation before admitting that something clearly went wrong? Justin Bieber, and he was talking about Billie Eilish, and he was like music, he was broke almost in tears. He's like, I just want to protect her. I just want to keep her safe. Yeah, what do you think he went through? Because he knows what's been happening to Billie music. Just like everybody knew what was happening to Millie Bobby music, Brown Girl, with Drake. Music, these people are monsters. He ran into Deborah Dan Harlem, and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy, and if he knew Diddy. And I love Deborah for this. He said, I grew up with his parents. I knew his parents. He said, what's going on with him? Clear's throat has been going music on long before him. Now, his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. Music, the woman that they're saying is his mother, was a prostitute. No, but there's whispers music in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt. Whoa, there are whispers. Wait a minute, there are whispers. Diddy's story is so convoluted. Music, but nobody really likes talking about who he was before he became puffy. Nobody snorts. Like I would love, if I could be granted an interview with him to interview Diddy, now in his most raw state music about his life up until the age of 15 only. We got to learn how to stop making Diddy. What made him him? Now his pedigree comes from rat background. Music, his father was a rat snitch. Not revered. Music, he turned on Frank Lucas, who was the king of Harlem. And yet, Diddy was able to, music siphon off enough of that juice. Just enough to get people, but he needed Gene. Think about this. Gene was more of a father figure to Diddy than he was a bodyguard. And Gene was more than a bodyguard. He was music and investigator. So when they went separate ways, clearly he couldn't hold. When Diddy's story entered the federal courtroom, the conversation shifted from speculation to documented scrutiny, grounded in evidence, procedure, and measurable outcomes. Charges, rulings, music, and appeals set clear limits on what could responsibly be claimed, while also widening the focus to what institutions themselves must confront. Courts are built to judge individual actions, not entire cultures. And that gap leaves deeper questions unresolved. The message is clear. What is legal is not always what is right, and formal closure does not erase systemic harm. So when the case ends on paper, the real question remains. Does accountability stop there? Or is that where the conversation truly begins? If I'm looking at any black guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy, there's only one that I could come up with. And there's a few I could come up with. Will Smith, he's bigger than Diddy. I would think music. Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black music? That are black actors or black in the business, that's a A-lister that's bigger than Diddy. That's black, that's hard to think. But then, if you got the A-lister's music, you got to realize he ran with that black music, that Rat Pack. And I don't want to even say their name, cause they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kush Kirshner. Was it the ER? What's another guy? Leonardo. Yeah, his name. Man, I don't snorts, keep up with these cats. But I heard that that's not only the ER tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there. Other people too with him music and him doing some things with some other people. So there's quite a few tapes that might be out there with the hearing, and I don't want to see the tapes music. But I want to know if they really true, cause if they got some cake takes out there. And this with some underage, whether it's celebrities or not, it's going to be crazy, bro. It's going to be real crazy. The intersection of 50 Cent, Diddy, and Justin Bieber exposes a deeper truth about